rolling this club inside is really going to destroy your golf swing. The reason is that it opens up the face as we're going up to the top. Now, if this face is really open at the top, I'm going to tend to come over the top to try to get that club around the ball, where a lot of times I may start down steep, and then I'll stand up, and then I'll flip at the ball to try to get that club face closed. So what we need to do is get that face in a stronger position and get that club in a better position as we're coming back to be able to be in a better position at the top and not have to make those compensations in the downswing. Now, what it comes down to is what our trail arm is doing. When we're really rolling this face inside, that trail arm is getting bent, and that elbow pit is kind of pointing up to the sky, and we'll tend to point our palm up to the sky as well because of that elbow position. So what we need to do is we need to get that elbow pit working more down toward the ball and keep that trail arm straighter as we're bringing it back. Now, what that also does, keeping that trail arm straighter, is it helps get those shoulders more involved early in the swing. See, if I bend my arm right away, I'm not really moving my shoulders very much. But if I keep that trail arm straighter, now I'm turning my shoulders much more, and that's really, really important for power. So there's a lot of benefits to getting this trail arm position correct. So how do we do this? Well, what we need to do is we need to feel something very exaggerated. So this is what I call the fault, feel, reel approach. So the fault is really bending that trail arm, rolling that club inside, getting that face really open. The feel needs to be trail arm straighter, right? And the elbow pit pointing down toward the ground with this club face pointing more down toward the ground, toward the ball. So this is an exaggerated feel. This would be a really, really closed club face, but this is what you need to feel to get it to change. So the fault is this, the feel is this, and in the reel, or hopefully the reel when we get to where we're hitting a ball, is going to be where we're keeping that trail arm straighter, but that club face is going to be closer to more parallel with my spine angle. You can see how that face angle is basically pretty close to perpendicular with my body. That's ideally that's a really, really good position. Now, if it's a little bit up or a little bit down, that's fine. That's getting a little bit too much in the details, but that's generally a good position where you see that club face angle pretty close to the same as the back angle there. That's ideally where we would want to be with this. So what we don't want to do is just try to feel that we're getting to that club face in that position, because most likely that's not the reality of what's going on. We've all heard feel is not real. We need to really exaggerate this feel. And the good part about it is if you're someone who's really rolling the face inside, I would try to feel like you can't exaggerate this too much, because if you do, you can just ease off of it a little bit. I'd much rather you try to over-exaggerate this and get it to where it's too closed and then be able to ease off of it than to really, really struggle to get it little by little by little in the right position. So really feel like you can't exaggerate this too much and you'll be in a much better place. So how do we drill this? So what I would recommend doing is just doing some exaggerated rehearsals of just the beginning of the backswing, and then do a full practice swing where you're doing a fluid swing where you're trying to exaggerate that same feel, and then step up to the golf ball and do the exact same thing. So that would go something about like this. So I'm going to bring this club back, really feel like I'm bringing that elbow pit toward the golf ball. I'm getting that club face pointed down toward the golf ball. That trail arm is much straighter. What I also want to feel like is that this club is a little bit more outside my hands, because if I'm bringing it too much to the inside, I want to feel like it's more outside, almost like it's above the golf ball as I'm bringing it back. So this is the feel that I want to have. And then if I do a practice swing, I want to exaggerate that same feel, right? And now I'm going to step up to the golf ball. I'm going to try to do that exact same thing. And it's not going to look exactly like that exaggerated feel, but that's what I'm going to feel like is happening to get what I want. All right, I hope you really enjoyed that video, and if you did, I have an even better bonus video. So now that we have this backswing correct, there are certain things that we want to be doing in the downswing as well to be able to get into that great impact position. What we see all the tour players doing is we see them getting this club shallowing out, and we see them getting this club face square earlier in the start of the downswing, so that way they can just turn through the ball. They know that club's going to be right in the slot every single time, and they're going to be very, very consistent with it. So there are certain things, just like in the backswing, that we want to be doing with our arms, our elbow positions, and our wrists to get that club face in a better position in the start of the downswing. And this is what we refer to as the anti-roll method at Top Speed Golf. So here in a second, I'm going to play a preview of a great bonus video by Clay Ballard, the founder of Top Speed Golf. But if you'd like to see the whole video, all you have to do is click the iCard that's going to appear up on your screen, or you can click the link in the description below. Play well, and I'll talk to you soon.
So here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep. And that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strike. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this. There's really only two pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here, I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,